I knew I had cancer, but I also knew I was going to get through cancer. I always knew like, all right, I got cancer. Well, this is going to be a sick story one day to tell people.
Tainui Kaihau.
Started off plumber, did that for 4 years, and then jumped into support work, helping disadvantaged kids, which has now led me into where I want to take my coaching support and get them to where they know they can be.
What has Bali sort of revealed to you about yourself?
Definitely perspective for me. Back in Aussie, you know, everyone's pushing you to get the house, get the car. So you come over here, they don't need anything and they're smiling, and just everywhere you go, they're so welcoming. You know, you can dial it right back and you can still live a life that just fulfills you.
Do you feel pressure now to be an inspiration?
It's something I have to do for myself, is to help people. It took a while to get there. A lot of it I wanted to push down, you know, shove away and never open that closet again. I was 17 years old, got diagnosed with leukemia in January. 3.5 years of chemo from there on out. Fit, healthy, bro, 17 to couldn't even get off the floor, bro. Went to 50 kilos.
More challenging physically or mentally and emotionally?
Probably equal. Painful experiences, what you're going through and what it does to your body, seeing yourself and trying to eat vomit, bro, every night. You're just like, when is this going to end?
If tomorrow was your last day, what would you regret not doing?
It's a powerful question. Sorry, bro.
You're right, my brother. If I could have one moment of your time. Most of you guys listening or watching do not subscribe to the channel. The simple and easiest way to help and support us is to subscribe. It helps us get the guests that you guys want, and it gives us a more opportunity to grow this thing to where we want to take it. Thank you so much. Enjoy the episode. Kia ora. Tainui Kaihau, welcome to the Māori Show, brother.
Thank you for having me.
In order for us to get to know a little bit more about who you are, what would you say is your current mission, bro?
Current mission for me, definitely helping to inspire, motivate people, everyone really, not people who have just gone through something, but people who are healthy, have able bodies, sharing my story to show that no matter what you go through, there's always light at the end of it. And just keep being positive, always positive self-talk. Knowing that that season in your life is just a season in your life, and we have so many seasons in our life. So just getting through that shitty season, there's always going to be something bigger and better waiting for you on the other side. So just sharing that journey and just here to inspire, motivate, and do the best I can.
I love it, brother. Have you always had this inclination to want to share your story, or is this more of a recent sort of realization?
I think after going through my experience with what I went through, then coming out the other side and then wanting to share my story. So I think for me, it was going through that hardship then gave me the realization like, I need to share this. But it took a while to get there. A lot of it I wanted to push down, you know, shove away and never open that closet again and talk about it.
Yeah, wow.
So for me, it was getting over that and realizing that people needed to hear it for what it was to learn and to teach, rather than to make a sob story and make people like feel sorry for me. So I think it's only just come up recently to really like bring out who I was or who I am and what I went through and where I want to take that journey.
Yeah, cuz very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar. Only recent realizations as well.
Yeah.
You know, you have the feelings and I guess going through those things, the pain essentially, right?
Yeah.
And they're there, but then I don't know what it is specifically or what it takes. So all of a sudden, now I'm like, it needs to be shared.
Yeah, I need to share this.
Yeah, bro.
You gotta, you know, we've created our stories. We've done something to make this story to give us that, you know, main bulk that we need to share. But without that, we don't really realize. So I guess you're just floating through life wondering, you know, just doing nothing really. And then all of a sudden this thing hits you and you're like, fuck, you come out the other side and you're like, holy shit, that was actually bigger than what I thought, you know? So
looking in retrospect,
Yeah.
I guess an important question for you. I can see you got a tāmoko. I can hear you got a bit of an Aussie accent in there.
A mix of everything.
Yeah, because we're currently in Bali, you know. We got all the works here.
Yeah.
It may be a bit of a interesting question for you though, bro, but where's home for you?
Home, Otaki. So Otaki, New Zealand. Always, baby. Always. So born there. I lived there till I was about 6 or 7. And then shifted out to Dubai for a year, actually. Lived there. Yeah, got homeschooled. Dad worked away doing private security in like Afghan and Iraq.
Wow.
Yeah, and then just the travel was too much. So yeah, me, my sister, mum, dad shifted out there, spent a year there, homeschooled. Wasn't really much of a opportunity wise for sports and, you know, extra curriculum stuff. So they decided after that year to head over to Australia. So ended up there and then been there since, back and forth between Otaki and Aussie. But yeah, Otaki will always be home, and then Aussie has me for now.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
bro. So how long in total have you been in Australia?
We moved when I was probably 7 and I'm nearly 27. Damn. So probably 20 years, bro.
Yeah,
20 years, and
cuz.
then 3 years of boarding school in amongst that, and then about 10 months back in Otaki.
You are Māori.
Yeah.
What role has culture sort of shaped your journey in your life?
I think just never forgetting where I came from and just that respect. You go home, it's just always, you just walk around and you just feel a bit more like, when you walk around, it's hard to explain to people that don't, I guess, have, similar culture. But yeah, just everything that Māori people represent really, and just having that, and I've got it on my back as my backbone, of me, my tāmoko down my spine. So just having that and everything here just represents that side of me and it, my journey, and I'll forever carry it. And I feel like for me, I've always had tāmoko. It's just going through the journey to show it,
Wow.
So I feel like if, you're Māori, you're born with it, you just got to find a way to show it. So it's always been here. And yeah, just slowly going through life, bro, and it's slowly appearing as I keep working on myself. That's the way I see it anyway.
Fuck, I love that, brother. That makes me feel,
Yeah.
it makes you want
I'm
to
gonna
put
get
pop the
more,
chair,
baby.
bro. It does.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt disconnected from the culture?
Yeah, 100%. I think moving to Aussie, having, a name like Tainui too, and going to school in Australia, bro. Could never say my name, if it was always T or Tai, which I hate. It was always T and short, or just absolutely botched at school. So I think for a while there, I was like, oh, my name's so hard, like it can't be an easy name. But then I think as my nan passed away a couple of years ago, and I think going back for her tangi and just being around the marae and being around that and not really understanding all the stories they had to tell about her, I was like, fuck, I need to come home, mate. And it was just calling me to come home. And I think I forever owed it to myself to just go home for a year. I enrolled in the to do a Māori course for a year at the Wā there in Otaki. And I think that for me was just something that like I just had to do, even though it was hard and I barely spoke all year. But just the experience of being home, played rugby, just being where I was born, something to be said for.
Yeah, cuz. Did it make you, doing that, I guess, like reconnecting, did it make you also find maybe more meaning in your life as well?
Yeah, 100%. And meaning to like all my tāmoko, and just meaning to, my story, and meaning to just be someone that came from Otaki that could make something of themselves, a small town. I want to show people that you can do anything, you can leave, because a lot of people have that small mindset back home, as you probably know. So
absolutely.
Just, the world's our oyster, and it's Māoris have a, great opportunity, bro. They come to Aussie, people love them. It's, they look at them, they're like, gun, So I think just getting that out there more, like the world's waiting for you to be seen. You just got to get out and go. So,
and then that brings us, I guess, here to Bali.
Yeah.
And even seeing other Māoris as well here. Bro, it's crazy.
It is cool. You see them anywhere in the world, bro, and you're like, you're Māori, where you from? Boom, instant connection, That's all it takes, is just being Māori. You might not like the person, align with their values, but you're Māori, sweet, bro. We're, two Māoris in the opposite side of the world. Let's chat. It's just automatic connection, eh?
Exactly. So, it truly is. Yeah. I guess being here, how long have you been in Bali now?
7 weeks.
7 weeks.
Week,
yeah, wicked. What has Bali sort of revealed to you about yourself?
Definitely perspective for me. It's huge, and just how I see the world. Like back in Aussie, everyone's pushing you to get the house, get the car, get the new clothes, be seen. And it's just, you come over here, bro, scooters. Doesn't matter. Like if you had a car, you're like, bro, what are you doing? I'm like, stupid, man. I'm on a scooter. See you later. Like it just completely flips the script. And it's just like the people are so nice, and with what they got to, it's just like they don't need anything, and they're smiling, and just everywhere you go, they're so welcoming. So I think that for me has just made me realize, like, everything you think you want, it's just, you can dial it right back, and you can still live a life that just fulfills you, in that sort of way. So bro, open my eyes.
A lot of people said to me before coming here, make sure you don't lose yourself, Zach. Even people that have been here before. Do you think it's easy to lose yourself in a place like this?
I think you get a bit of both. I think you find yourself, but then you might get caught up in the relaxation of it, and you can settle down, the coffees and the sun and the gyms, and and you forget that what your goal was before coming to Bali. So I think for me, I sort of For me, I had a different experience because it made me realize where I want to be and what I need to do to get here, or what I need to do to make it work to go anywhere in the world and be online and, live the life I want to live. So for me, it was sort of get here. I enjoyed it for the month. And then the end of this month has been like, right, let's fucking rip in and make this work so I can come back here and, be a part of this when I want to, and also go back when I want to. So
because
comes
back to that whole freedom idea, right, brother? What are the sort of final questions on here? I guess the lessons that you've learned from Bali that you want to take back and incorporate back into your life back in Australia.
Lessons from Bali. Just definitely not needing everything you think you need. Like I said earlier, me and Riley, my partner, we live in a shed, bro, as big as this podcast room, So I think before coming here, we're already used to that small, minimal lifestyle. So I think coming to Bali and then taking back, I just want to sort of remind people, tell people if they ever asking that it is a place where you can come and have the least amount of things you've ever had, but feel the most fulfilled. So definitely that. And it's been great experience, definitely coming back as a place for me always. So loving it.
Oh, bro, I feel that too, cuz.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Martin Show First Ad Break. For anyone who is wanting to go on a new journey, learn a new skill, we have started our basic beginners boxing fundamentals course. For anyone, if it's your first time, if you're a seasoned member, this is the course for you in the boxing space or fitness space. Click the link below or go to onlineboxingtraining.com and I'll see you guys there. Let's get some mahi, eh? I guess it's important for the audience to know what it is that you do as well. Mm-hmm. What it is that you do, bro.
Currently?
For mahi, mahi. Or in general as well.
Started off plumber. So after being sick, jumped into a plumbing apprenticeship, which was good, just straight back into mahi, working that trade lifestyle. So did that for 4 years and then did my Cert 4 on plumbing and did a little bit on my own, a little bit of that, but then just got to a point which was hating it and then jumped into support work. So the last year I've been doing that, just helping disadvantaged kids and kids that don't have parents around. So we look after them 24/7 in a house. Challenging job, but so much you get a lot back from them. You leave work and you're like, that was so fulfilling, that my day. So I think switching out of the trades and into that sort of mahi aligned with who I was, and then just made me, I was excited to go to work. I was like, I got work. I'm going to look after this kid. We're going to the beach, movies, even if he didn't want me to. And we're like, we're going, bro. Let's go. I think it's just that role model type person, which has now led me into where I want to take my coaching and be someone men can, have in their corner and support and get them to where they know they can be. So
for the tradie lifestyle, how was your experience being in that culture? The hustle culture, maybe the way that men treat their health in that culture, treat their emotions in that culture, all that sort of things. How was your experience?
It was a lot. It was very eye-opening to see that how they lived in that sense. So when I started, I guess I was very lucky. I had a good tradie, so we would jam it, go to work together, and it'd be fun as, bro. Music, shirts off, we would just vibe. It was good. So I can't really say I had a bad apprenticeship, but what I saw on the other side of it is a lot of men just lost and just purposeless, bro, going through the days, going through the motions, Monday to Friday, drink a box of beers, like, all that talk about you don't go home to your wife, and bro, it's just the shittest mentality you could be around, and it just drains you, being around that. It's like you've been fit or you've gone to gym. It's like, what are you doing, bro? You're not working hard enough, or, what, we're having beers on a Friday. What are you doing? It's like, I don't drink. Or it's like, they look at you weird, like, what are you doing? So I think it's a very negative culture to be around unless you can get like a good one. But it's funny because the trades are sort of glorified in Aussie, like you're a tradie. It's like, bro, you got a mean job. You're a tradie, But when you like dive into that space, it's like, they're not really wanting you to ever use it as a time of your life to create something else outside of the trades. It's a very taxing job too, outside in the sun, or the glues and primers. And it's just like, you see these dudes for 50 years just doing that, Monday to Friday, same shit. And it's just this ticking through the motions. So I think that made me realize that was something I never wanted to be. So I was there working, knowing in the back of my mind, this is just a season of my life. I'm never going to be here. And then transitioning out of that into youth work. A lot of people message me now, they're like, how'd you do it, bro? Like, how'd you get into youth work? You're a plumber and you're meant to be a plumber the rest of your life. Like, fuck that, bro. Yeah. I'm out. And it was just a simple doing a couple calls, putting yourself out there, doing a little bit of work behind the scenes. And then before you know it, I'm in a role that don't have a ticket for. You're just doing it because you know, you have some values that you can use. You can talk. You're a people person. Sweet. There's other jobs out there for you. So,
Bro, I feel like there's so many tradies out there, probably back in New Zealand, but probably even more so even in Australia as well, that are in a similar waka. What would you say to them, bro, about like what to do? I guess like that first step of, man, I feel purposeless in my mahi, but I don't know where to go. I might want to talk to someone like yourself. What would you say to them?
I think find a little bit about yourself, find about, you know, who you are, what your values are, what your beliefs are, write them down, read them back to yourself. Does that actually align with me? No, it does. Sweet. And then sort of think about what would you do for free? You know, that was my sort of thing. What would I go to work for? If no one got paid in the world, where would I go? And what would I do? And to me, helping people was always something that's been like close to me. So I was like, you know, and I love kids, bro. I know I want 100 of kids of my own. So I love kids. So I'm like, sweet. You know, I love kids. I want to help people. Youth work, bro. And then I just made a few calls, had a mate who was in it and asked him. And then, yeah, he got me an interview, got the interview. And then 2 weeks later, you're starting and you're like, holy shit. Just like that, you know? So, but it's more than just thinking about what you want to do. You got to go, you know, action what you're thinking. So I think a lot of people get stuck at that. I want to do this or I want to do that. That's all it'll ever be is you want to, you know, you got to go and action that shit, get there. And then, you know, before you know it, you'll be like, oh shit, the time will pass. You'll be in that role. So there's definitely life outside of the trades. There's so much you can do.
Well, now you're someone that's moving into sort of that mentorship role for these other people. Did you yourself have any mentors or anyone to look up to and ask for guidance, questions, and all those sorts of things?
Not really, eh? Even There was always sort of just figuring it out myself. You know, like, oh, I'll try this. Oh, that didn't work well. I'll try this. That didn't work well. Obviously, my partner and I have been together 10 years, so we've been bouncing off each other with ideas and what to do the whole time. So having her in my corner is like the best thing I could ever ask for. So that made it easy in that sense. But I think just trial and error. You got to try, you got to fail, you got to learn from it all, and then just figure out from them. You can figure out what you want to do. So
an integral part of your story, brother, is what you went through almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
Yeah, cuz. Do you want to tell the audience? I guess it was probably, I would say, one of the most challenging things that I gathered from you, but I could be wrong.
Nah, it's up there.
Yeah,
yeah,
bro.
So yeah, 2016, I was 17 years old, just about to start year 12 and got diagnosed with leukemia in January, which was just like the biggest shock, you know, ever. But at the same time, as a 17-year-old kid who'd never really been affected by someone with cancer, I'm just oblivious to what even is that, you know, like what's going to happen, what's going on, just no idea. So that obviously was heavy news that hit me. And then, yeah, that was sort of 3.5 years of chemo from there on out. It was the longest like amount of chemo for that type of cancer. And I was 17, so I was high risk. And it was just, yeah.
Do you still remember like?
Oh, bro, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, it was funny. I knew I had cancer before I had cancer. Yeah, bro. It was the weirdest feeling. Like I tell people this and they're like, how? But I went and did a race back in Tauranga at the Mount. And I was going over there, you know, I was hoping to win. In my mind, I was like, I'm winning this race, bro. Got nowhere. There were like little kids passing me and shit. Dad's on the beach going, hurry up. What are you doing? I'm like, I couldn't. I was like, I'm trying. I couldn't go anywhere. Wow. Just my body, my hips aching. Like, I was like, that's fucking weird, man. Like, came home, boom, crashed out in the chair. And like at that age, I was surfing, you know, I'll go train for 3 hours, surf all day, like nonstop. You just, you know, what you're like at 17, you just go, active, do everything and anything. Came back from that New Zealand trip, back into training, same thing. My joints were sore, knees aching. And then one night in the shower, scratched like a mozzie bite, bro, just purple, like bruising all up my leg, like instantly just from like the lightest scratch. Came out, showed mum. And then I was like, oh. And then in my mind, I was like, oh, this ain't good. And I just knew, bro, I had a feeling. I was like, I've got cancer. And she's like, shut up. And like, no, you don't. Wow. Anyway, jumped on Dr. Google, bro. What's the first thing that pops up? Cancer, you know. Oh and God. I was like, and then anyway, mum took me to the doctors next day, got blood test. And I was just not wanting to show him this as a, you know, 17-year-old boy. And I knew. So I was like, I don't want to show him this because I want to delay the news, you know. I want to keep living life till the last, you know, till I have to go deal with this. Oh my God. So went in telling him I'm tired, this, that. And mum's like, you need to tell him about your leg. So I showed him and just his face, bro, when he saw that, it was just like the nail in the coffin. Like I knew straight away. I was like, fuck. Anyway, and then went to training. Mum called back that RV. She's like, you got to come back. And I was like, no. Tell him next week. I'll go next week. I don't want to go in. And then anyway, I had to go back in and told us that night. And then, bro, mum breaking down in the doctors and I'm having to call my dad because I'm a bit, you know, unaware of what even is leukemia. Wow. and her, dad went through cancer and unfortunately passed away to that. So she had been around that and experienced that. So she's breaking down. I'm having to call dad, call my sister, call my coach to like pick my sister up. Not really, just unsure of what's going on. And then obviously that whole journey begins. That night we're down at hospital, and it's just spent the next year pretty much there at the children's hospital, bro, just like that. Remember driving down, bro, I was like, I want a McDonald's chocolate thick shake, bro. So we pulled into like Caboolture. McDonald's got a chocolate thick shake. And I still remember sitting there just drinking it on the way there. And that was like the little last feed, I guess, before I started. Wow. Yeah, and then from there, still unsure of what, my timeline's going to be or what the process was. And then next morning, doctors come in and they're like, 3.5 years of chemo. And I'm like, I thought I heard that wrong. I'm like, so 3.5 years? Like, yeah. And then it's just for the first year, I was on pills every day for 3.5 years, and then chemo every Wednesday for a year, so every week, and then lumbar punctures in the back every month for a year.
Oh my God.
So it just went, fit, healthy, bro, 17 to couldn't even get off the floor, bro. Went to 50 kilos, just, yeah.
And was the recovery, do you think, more challenging physically or mentally and emotionally? Or were they kind of equal?
Probably equal. It's funny because cancer, like, it doesn't hurt, it's not something that's like a painful experience. It's I think the painful experience is what you're going through and what, what it does to your body, seeing yourself and trying to eat vomit, bro, every night, eat vomit. Like, you're just like, when is this going to end, eh?
Oh my God.
And just the time, bro, you're in this little room and there's only so much TV you can watch before TV becomes like the last thing you want to do. So I used to sit in the shower, bro, for 6 hours, just hot shower, just wrinkle up, come out, look at the clock. No, I need more. Just to pass time. Like, it felt like the clock, bro, when I got sick, and just like stalled, eh? And it was just the slowest journey ever. So I think it took like a lot of, it was very mentally draining, slow, just seeing your mates too, 17, 18, bro, going out and surfing and doing all the things you want to do. And you're just in this room and it's like, why me, man? I had so much like hate for the world and like for them, because it was like I was fit, healthy, looked after myself, barely drunk, didn't smoke. And then it's like, that happened to me. Like, how? So I think that was what I really struggled with, was like the why me sort of part.
What do you think's like the ugliest truth about cancer that people don't know in regards to like a survival story?
I think a lot of people, when they hear the word cancer, it's like, it's this word that's forbidden almost, eh? Like when you say cancer, it's like, oh, everyone just sort of comes down a little bit, it's like, but I think it's something that like, if people were more like, my mindset going through that, I knew I had cancer, but I also knew I was going to get through cancer. So I think that's like a truth that people need to realize, is that like a lot of it's up here, eh? Like what you tell yourself, what you tell your body. I always knew like, all right, I got cancer. Well, this is going to be a fucking sick story one day to tell people.
Wow.
But I didn't know how I was going to use it or what I was going to do, but I knew that I was going to get through it and I was going to be all right. But I think just that word, it doesn't have to be so like, like, oh shit, and come down, are you okay? It's like, you fucking got this, it should be a word of like, man, like you're going to get through this and you're going to have one hell of a story to, tell people and share once you come out the other side. So I think I just didn't like being like babied by it, in a way. It was like, oh, he's got cancer. Oh, it's like very,
Yeah.
It's like, fucking give me some energy, back me, let's go. Like,
okay. So instead of maybe the sympathy, you weren't
sympathy.
You weren't keen on that.
Nah, because that's just adding to the already sad situation, It's like everyone's sad. I think another ugly truth is like also not so much what it did to me, but what it did to my family and my, people closest to me. Like I was there going through it, but what it did to them was almost like, I was like, fuck, I felt kind of like grateful in a weird way to be like the one just doing that, Whereas they had to go out and be in the real world and be like, oh, is T okay? Everyone came through them to then know about me. Like no one came to me personally because I was stuck in the hospital. So they never got to just talk about anything else than how's T, or anytime they talk to them, how's T, is he all right? I heard this, So I think they had to deal with so much too. And it affected my sister, my mum, my dad, Riley. Like she's still at school, bro, going to school. T's going to, hearing the T's going to die, what kids are like, eh? So I think it actually had a bigger effect on the people, closest to me than myself in a weird way.
What did it teach you about, I guess, life and purpose, and about, I guess, the man that you want to become?
The biggest lesson.
Yeah.
The biggest lessons, yeah. Just even when I was in hospital going through it, I felt lucky. Like you see kids in there, bro, getting their like losing their legs and in wheelchairs, and all they single mum looking after 3 kids, and one of them's going through that. And I was like, I got my mum and dad, I'm going to be all right. And I just think coming out of that and just the lesson I got from that is like, there is so many people worse off. Even though I was in a worse off situation, there's people worse than me. And it really made me realize that your health is your number one, priority. Once that's gone, bro, like they say, you have 1,000 problems until your health's the only problem.
Oh my God.
So I think that really made me realize, and coming out of that, just wanting to look after myself and give myself the best chance to never have anything like this happen again. I know you can't fully stop it, but there's ways, a lot of ways around being healthy and living a lifestyle that doesn't,
you
bring that on in certain ways. Mum did a lot of research into certain things. And so it gave me a good understanding and a bit of knowledge around just being healthy and, being the best I could be for myself. So something like this might not happen again, just giving myself the best chance coming out of it. Yeah.
I love that, bro. And it wasn't until, from what I found, it wasn't until you were 23 where you started to, I guess, focus on your health and use what you had been through to help others. What sparked that initial shift though, from 17 to 23, that's 6 years. But when you're 23, it's like, oh nah, I need to do something about this.
I think I just like almost forgot, what I was saying earlier, how I just, once I finished my chemo and I got my last round and I was all done, it was like, right, let's close the hatch on that and we're never opening that shit again. Like, I don't want to go back in there. I was at that age too where you just don't want to, dive into that conversation and open up that, basket of emotions again, bro, because I hate it. To me, that represented so much hate and sadness. I was like, right, we're stomping that close. We're just going to move on with our life. And it's sort of, in a way, I forgot who I was again. I used to keep reminding myself how lucky I am. And then it was like, oh, I'm back to sort of being somewhat normal. And I closed that door and forgot about it. So I didn't have that, frequently reminding me. And then obviously as time went on again, I would just, start going down a path that didn't align with me. And what you were saying earlier when you said, when you're not doing the right thing, or when you're not living life that aligns with you, it eats you up, bro. And you're just there like, fuck, this isn't me, but I'm doing these things. Like, why? So I think I had to open that, again and dive into it. And it's only really been like 23, I think I started dabbling in it again. And yeah, opening that conversation up. But I think it's been in the last year where I've really been like, I'm going to dive right into that and just get through all of it. So now it's like above me, it was always something that was chasing me, but now it can sit eye to eye with me and be part of who I am,
Yeah, bro.
So
do you feel pressure now to be an inspiration of some sort, or to be inspirational? Do you feel that pressure on yourself?
Not so much pressure. I feel like it's something I have to do for myself, is to help people, like I don't feel like there's outside noise telling me you have to do this, you have to, share this certain way. I think it's, I want to. And if someone or, a group of people get something out of it, even if it's one person, I've done my job in that way. So
like a duty.
A duty. Yeah. 100% a duty for me to share it. And this cancer is one of the things, it's nonstop every day, some thousands of people. It's just a never ending cycle, and I think for me, when I was going through that, if I had someone like myself that I could have gone onto his Instagram and been like, fuck, that's me. He's running marathons. He's doing, rugby. He's playing basketball. He's doing weights. He looks good. Like, yeah, I would have been like, they gave me a goal to like really like shoot for. And that little mindset shift while you're in hospital can make the biggest change in the long run, eh?
Oh my God.
Like if you're negative and you're like, there's nothing, what's the point? Why me? You're not going to get anywhere. And I think I want to be that person. A kid can come on and, went through cancer and they can relate to that experience, and then also see out the other end being like, fuck, there is life after cancer, I'm going to be like that. So yeah, that's what I want to be for, kids going through it now, anyone going through it, kids, adults, anyone,
Yeah, bro.
That person they can look up to.
I can feel it so much. I can resonate with it a lot, bro. I love it. Similar walkers. What do you think you struggle with now personally?
Oh man. Part of my struggle, I think, was sharing it, but in a way that it didn't want to be seen as a sob story. So trying to get it out there in a way that it's not a sob story. I'm using it to, inspire. It's an inspiring story. So just trying to find that balance. But I think a lot of that is my own struggles. That's just in me in my own head.
Yeah.
I'm the only one thinking that. No one's ever come up to me and be like, your content's so selfish. It's it's just about you and trying to make a sob story. Like, but in my mind, I'm like, I don't want people, that I didn't want to relate to that and play the cancer card in a way, like Paul T, you know, I was saying earlier. So I think just trying to find that balance of putting my story out there to, you know, motivate and inspire rather than I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me because you know, there's people in way worse positions than I am. I don't ever want that. So I just want people to look at it and be like, damn, I can get there too, you know, it's doable. So yeah.
Bro, you mentioned chasing before. Is there anything specifically that you feel like you're chasing now?
Yeah, I think always just self-improvement, self-development. Yeah, always chasing the best version of me. So I was trying last night, actually, I was like trying to manifest myself in 2 years and what that looked like.
Ooh, talk to me about that, bro.
It was sick.
Yeah.
It was cool, bro. It was cool. And everything I want to do, you know, along the way to get to that version of me in 2 years. So I think I'm always in a way like chasing that, you know, that next year version of Tainui, that next year. And it's in my mind that every version is just so much better. Like I want to just keep adding things, you know, adding things to my backpack. So I just got this big old bag, you know, by the end of my life that I have all the tools in there to offer people, you know. And I think just learning along the way, trying to listen to podcasts, trying to, you know, listen to other people who are doing, you know, similar things like yourself with podcasts, always trying to learn. So
what is that Tainui looking like? What is he doing? How does he behave?
Bro, he behaves just everything that I'm doing now, but better. And just a lot, not so much for me, but for the people around me. So a lot of like giving back, a lot of charity events, a lot of, you know, I want to do a lot of speaking like this. I just want to put so much information and motivation out there that people just want to jump on board, and that just, you know, they just see one video and they're like, you know, I'm G'ing them up. Like even on my call this morning with my client, you know, I see someone a little lip down and I'm like, bro, let's fucking go, you know, like I want to be that energy for people that they can take a bit of my energy and, you know, put it into their life. And then just being a great, you know, husband. It's changed from partner to husband. I know. Got to save up, bro. Got to get saving. Might buy a Bali ring. But yeah, husband, hopefully a father. Yeah, all that, bro. Businesses, just, you know, my hand in multiple different places, and just helping in all of them equally. So yeah.
Do you feel like you're still trying to prove yourself to others, to the world, to society, maybe more so to yourself? Do you feel like you're still, you know, trying to prove it though?
Yeah, 100%. I think there'll be something for me that I'll always keep trying to prove to myself. You know, it's just a little me v me moment, you know, like we spoke about with your run. You know, some days you just wake up and you're just like, fuck, I need to punish myself. And like yesterday I went for that 20K and I was like, I just woke up and I just knew like, I just need to prove to myself that I can run 20K. Because a couple of the other boys did 17 and I hadn't. And I was like, fuck, bro, I need to do, you know, I need to do more. So I'm just so competitive with myself in a healthy way. But I think I'll always keep needing to prove to myself that I can do this. And then once I know I can do that, it's like, right, what's next? So the bar keeps shifting, you know, it gets higher and higher. And sometimes, I think every person needs to just go let it rip one day, on a run or boxing or anything, and just really realize, like, yeah, I got this, you know?
Bro. Speaking of being a man, what does a good man mean and look like to you, bro?
Respectful.
Yeah.
Walks into a room and people, you know, he's not cocky, but he's confident in who he's become, you know, what he's done to get to that point. You know, kind, generous, doesn't let his emotions take over in the moment. I think a lot of men, bro, I used to just snap, you know, like partner would knock over some water and I'd just be like, what the, you know, and then make it like a thing, but it's water, bro, on the ground. Like, you know, it's nothing. Like, what is that? It's nothing at all. So I think just, controlling your emotions, understanding what's an actual problem in the world, taking a second to think before you're just reacting. You know, I try now to like see it for what it is and just sort of silent look at it and then, it's all good, you know, there's nothing. We'll wipe it up. It's all, you know, it's sweet. And there's so many, you know, problems in the world that actually are problems, you know, and I've been there. So I always try to remind myself that was an actual problem. These are just little speed bumps you just got to figure out. And there's little lessons you're going to learn from, you know, so.
And how are you trying to portray and show that narrative to your audience just through the way that you live?
Through my content.
Yeah,
through my content. Values that I align with, being me. I think a lot of people, you know, you can never please everyone. You've got to split the masses. And I say some things on there that align with me, but people don't like, they unfollow, you know, they leave my bubble, leave my space. But whatever, they might come back around again, you know, it's all, everyone has their own way of living life. So I think just, you got to live life to how you want to live it and what aligns with you. Because if you're doing it for someone else, bro, you're just going to live a life of regret when you get older. So just, showing it through my content, showing it through when I'm alone and not around, like being a good partner. I think being a good partner is what you do when your partner's not around. How you walk around the room, how your eyes are going when she's not around, how you portray yourself is a big thing. And people know that, they see and they're like, T's a good dude or Riley's a great partner, when the other half's not around. So I think just always being that.
I love that. Speaking of regret, if tomorrow was your last day, what would you regret not doing or saying?
Not doing or saying? That's a big question, bro. Bro, probably it'd probably be with Riley, to be honest.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, probably not putting a ring on it.
Yeah, bro.
Like she's been my rock since we were 16 and 14. But this question's tough. Shit. But yeah, it's a powerful question.
And do you think that's where your fuel source comes from now? Riley, everything that you've been through?
Sorry, bro.
You're right, my brother.
Yeah, definitely. Like made some poor choices there. So with Riley, but we've worked through it to get to a place now where we're better than ever. So yeah, I think, bro, that question hit me.
I guess all those feelings that you're feeling now are completely valid and in the moment. And I'm just thinking about her, and I guess 10 years is a long time, bro. At 27, that's very rare.
Oh yeah,
what a blessing! Like not many people can say that, cuz. Not many people can say that.
And the whole ride too, it's not just every year you're changing. I think I've been 10 different versions over 10 years. It's not just one. It's adapting to be with your partner for all the versions that come up. Because no one stays the same, bro. When you were 16 or 17 until now, I'm sure is miles apart, when you think back. And having another half, look at that and be part of that journey with you. Sometimes I think, fuck, how did you even stay? Like I was a Hmong, bro. Like, I think just, yeah. So relationships are never ending work. But, you got to be willing to do the work. And once you do the work, it's the best thing ever, But you just, like anything, you got to put in the work. I think people think once you jump in a relationship, it's all good, we're in it now. So it's just you slack off physically, mentally, you stop working on yourself. The problems start arising, and no one wants to do the work to get to a place where you both are just so content, with where you're at.
You're obviously doing a lot of work behind the scenes, even I guess for people to see as well in some ways with your content. What would you say now though, bro, for you that you want to work on going forward?
With the relationship?
No, in general.
Just in general?
It could be in the relationship, but just in life as well.
I think just continuing to live a life that aligns with me and just doing it for me at the end of the day. I think everything that I went through and all the hardships and with, my health, with Riley and everything, I think I just, I've scooped that all up and that's just me, and I need to live my life with all them, attached to. And not be afraid to hide them, they're out here for everyone to see, everyone to, learn what I did wrong and, what I did right. No, it's not always wrong, you got to try to take the small wins. There was a lot of positive things I did and there was a lot of negative things. So it's just trying to get rid of all the negative things slowly and keep working on that to, get to a point where we can look back and just be like, what everything we went through and we made it. Like sometimes me and her will look at each other and we'll just be like, what a ride, eh? We'll just look at each other and just, we were talking about it last night at dinner and it's just like 10 years, we're looking at old photos and videos and it's just crazy, bro. Like,
oh my God, bro.
Everything, eh?
I've been seeing it a lot lately on my socials, and it gets talked about a lot about like the idea of the journey, not the destination, but it's actually,
bro.
Like if you deepen it, bro, it's the fucking journey, bro. Like I'm way too destination minded. I'm always thinking about the end and I need to stop that.
And you're forgetting about what's happening now in the present, eh?
Like, I think that's probably some of my biggest lessons in being here. It's like actually like it's given me a little bit of time to
just be a bit more toe, be a bit more relaxed.
Slow down, be present.
Yep, bro. It's hard to do.
Oh, super hard, especially with phones and stuff now. You know, people just straight on them, jump onto them. And I think, especially in our relationship, we have a lot of time where the phones go away, and it's just, you know, I think a lot of people have never actually, you know, understood their partner on a deeper level, bro. It's just surface level conversation. It's the same shit, you know, back and forth every day.
Oh my God.
But if you were to, you know, sit like we're doing now, you know, I've learned more. You've probably learned more about me than a lot of my friends, just from no distractions and just having a chat about, you know, life and everything you've been through. And that builds a connection, you know. Now we've always got that connection, you know. You like
memory and a moment forever.
I've seen Tainui cry. You can always say that.
Bro, but that's a great point, because do you think modern masculinity is evolving? And what I mean by that is, do you think what we've just done now, what we're doing now, do you think that's becoming more normalized or not?
I think so. I think it is slowly becoming, you know, men with their emotions, but I think for me personally, like what just happened before, like that's healthy, is letting it out, you know, holding it in. And I used to, bro, hold it in, like could feel it, and you'd be like, no, don't cry, you know. Absolutely. But just letting it out, bro, I feel so much better. Just that brief little bit of, you know, that might have been a bad bit of energy that just needed to leave my body in that moment. But it's also being someone that your partner or your friends or your family can lean on when, you know, you need to be a man. You know, you need to stand up and be a man, and that can be, you know, in public, anywhere, behind closed doors. So I think it's juggling both in a healthy way.
That's beautiful. And that's the struggle, is navigating both, is navigating that tension. Welcome to the Martin Show. First ad break. For anyone who is wanting to go on a new journey, learn a new skill, we have started our basic beginners boxing fundamentals course. For anyone, if it's your first time, if you're a seasoned member, this is the course for you in the boxing space or fitness space. Click the link below or go to onlineboxingtraining.com and I'll see you guys there. Let's get some mahi, eh? T, what do you think? What scares you now, bro? What would you say is your biggest fear now?
Probably not doing the things in my mind that I want to do. You know, I said this to Riley last night. I said, she's like, oh, you know, dying would just be so beautiful. It'd be euphoric. And I was like, nah, that is my biggest fear, is dying. Because I feel like I've got so much to give now, and I've only just cracked the top of the lid, you know, to let out everything I know. So to me, I was like, nah, like that's my biggest fear, I reckon, is leaving this world, like, you know, too early without sharing everything that I know. I feel like it would just be like, why didn't you start earlier? You know, why didn't you do all the things you said you were going to do? And so I think for me, that's my biggest fear. But, you know, I don't live in fear. I don't live in fear I'm going to die, or, you know, I can't ride the scooter home because so I think it's a fine line between not living in fear because you'll never do the thing you want to do, but also having that in the back of your mind to just, you know, kickstart that you need to start doing this now, because, you know, you really don't know when it's, you know, when your time's up. So.
Oh my God, bro. And it makes me think about all the people who are no longer here with us, you know, and how much they had left to give to this world, eh? And then it makes you get into sort of a gratitude mindset where, oh shit, okay. Or it comes back to that duty. I have a duty to do it.
Imagine asking them, bro. Like if we could ask them, fuck. They'd probably say some crazy things.
Guys.
Whole life would be different, I reckon.
Oh my God, brother. I do want to go to younger T though. If he was here, what do you think he'd say about the man that you've become?
I think he'd be proud. He'd be like, you know, he'd be happy to see where I am. He'd be looking up to that version and being like, yep, that's where I want to be. You know, which is for me, it took a long time to get there. And I obviously am not the perfect person. You know, I'm not saying that I have many flaws, but I think that younger version of me, if he was to know everything I went through and this is the end point right now at this current time, I think he would be like proud of that.
Wow.
Obviously, he would look at some of the decisions I've made and say, you're an idiot. You know, I would, if that was me, I definitely would tell him, you're an idiot, bro. Why'd you do that? So, but I think all those stupid decisions that I've done, bro, have been also the biggest learnings for me, you know, and I chose those decisions at the end of the day. And the moment I accepted that it was my choice, and the moment I was truthful with Riley, with, you know, mum, dad, with everything, and truthful to myself, I was like, I took ownership of my poor decisions, bro. It was the best thing I could have ever done. I manned up and said, that was me. That was my bad. I fucked up, you know, but now what can I do to make it better? I can't change that situation. That's happened, you know, I can't rewrite that. But I have the opportunity now to rewrite what's coming, you know, and make that next chapter so good that we just look at that and be like, we'll just keep flipping, bro. These chapters are unreal, you know?
What would you want to say to him though, bro? If you could talk to younger T, what would you want to say?
Just be grateful, stick at it, keep doing you, because you know what you were doing got you here. But also never forget what, you know, that hardship you went through in your life. Don't let go of it, open it up, deal with it emotionally. I think, you know, don't try to stuff it away and try hide from it. Just let it be what it is. And yeah, just share that story in a way that, you know, is there to help people instead of making that little sob story. So just be open, bro. Just let it all come, let it all go. Just be this bubble that just attracts it all and then lets it out, you know, in a nice flowing way, not trying to fight stuff off or put it away or not let it happen. So
Tainui, we have a closing tradition on this podcast, brother, where the previous guest asks the next guest a question not knowing who they are.
Ooh.
The question for you today, brother, is what is a pain from your past that you've never fully shared publicly, but it shaped who you are today?
I think that obviously with me and Riley's relationship, I think that was very painful, that year apart. When all I wanted to do was be in her life, but you can't, you know. I think when you want to do something and you want to be in that position, but you just know you can't, or it's just not going to work in that way. I think that's the hardest thing to deal with, especially as a man. You know, I wanted to protect, provide, look after her, and I couldn't, you know, I couldn't be in that position because of the choices I made. You know, it wasn't anyone else. It was only me to blame. So I think that was something that's, I probably haven't spoken about enough, and it just ate me up to a point of I just had to reach out, you know, and make it happen. But it forced change in a way. So there was like some good came out of it. But at that time, bro, when I couldn't be there, I was like eating me up, bro. I used to look in the mirror and be like, you idiot, you know? And I used to let that out physically on myself. Like I'd go run and I'd go just lift as hard as I could and just run as fast as I could. And to me, that was my way of like punishing myself through, you know, physical activity.
Numbing or escaping.
Numbing, escaping. There was a season of drinking, but that's probably a pain that forever still, you know, eats me up a little bit in my life. You know, it's something I can't change and I could never be there in that moment, but I'm trying to do my best, bro, to make sure that never happens again.
Oh my God. From another Māori brother, bro, like I said this to Otini as well, like fucking proud of you, bro. Like, thanks, bro. Man, I can tell you've been through it, you know, like all of us have, and we all have our own unique sort of path in the story and things like that. But once you come out to the other side, fuck, that's so beautiful, eh? And it's so cathartic, it's so releasing, it's so much. I can feel the aroha, I can feel mana. And bro, I'm excited for you, cuz this, you know, I can, as you say, there's so much mahi that needs to be done. There's so much work that needs to be done, but you're in this position now where you have, I guess, the excitement, the confidence, the belief in yourself to go do it. And it's very, very similar. So that's us, my bro.
Thank you, bro.
What's happening? What's coming up? What's coming up for you? I know you got something coming up early next year.
Early next year, a little charity event.
I'm glad I remembered.
Don't want to say too much on it. I got to get it, you know. I'm like being that person that if they say something, it's gonna happen. So that's in the works. Just the online coaching, just, you know, pushing that space. I want to dive into that deep and hard and get, you know, pause. You know, cut that bit, eh? But just go into that space, you know, and just help as many people as I can. And then just started the potty. I'm gonna have to get you on, bro. So it's been hear your story. It's been good just being on the, you know, other end and just seeing how you do it, bro, because you've been doing it a while now. So just trying to learn off everyone I meet, bro, and just build connections, you know. Just connections, especially in Bali, it's crazy, eh? So
it's crazy, all right?
Crazy,
you never know. You never know. A new day is
I met you, like 2 days ago in real life, and we're here on a podcast.
Cuz, and now we're going to go for a box.
I know.
Hey, now we're going to go for a session.
That's it, bro.
Where can the people find you though, brother?
Instagram, so just Tainui Kaihau, and then in that there's a Since When community for men. All my coaching links are through the link tree there, and then the podcast is also through the link there. So it's all through that. You overlook,
Tainui Kaihau. We will drop Tainui's details below. We will also drop _ the Martin Show somewhere here. Make sure you're subscribing to this channel. We're going to be back next week for another episode. Thank you for tuning in. Modi ora, kia ora.